Welcome to the Explainer. So if you're building an e-commerce brand, you already know your product is really only as good as the box it arrives in, right? But what you might not realize is that mastering your packaging procurement is your actual secret weapon for scaling in 2026. Today, we're doing a deep dive. We're analyzing the top 8 packaging suppliers over in China. And we aren't just throwing a random list at you. We're categorizing and recommending exactly who you should be partnering with based strictly on your specific purchasing scale and business needs. Let's get right into it. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the 2026 e-commerce packaging shift, defining e-commerce-ready suppliers, solutions for bulk and enterprise, mid-size and premium branding, niche and precision specialists, and finally, smart procurement and landed costs. All right, Section 1, the 2026 e-commerce packaging shift.
Consider this for a second. The unboxing experience has completely evolved from a secondary logistical concern into a primary marketing pillar. Think about that. Finding a supplier in China is no longer just about tracking down a factory that can, fold some cardboard. It's about finding a strategic, cross-border partner. Why? Because your packaging is literally the only marketing material that boasts a 100% open rate with your customers. In 2026, the entire ecosystem is demanding high automation and eco-conscious materials, which absolutely requires a procurement-first mindset.
Okay, let's dive into some data, because it's a massive wake-up call for a lot of sellers. A super common question we hear is, hey, should I just get my product factory, like the guys making my electronics or toys, to make my packaging too? Well, the reality? Using your general product factory for packaging is actually going to cost you 20 to 30% more than going straight to a specialized packaging manufacturer. Seriously, product factories aren't printing specialists. They just outsource it and mark up the price. So, to protect your margins and get the best quality, you've got to go directly to the source.
Moving right along to Section 2, defining e-commerce-ready suppliers.
Before we even start naming names, there are 4 mandatory, non-negotiable criteria for 2026. First up, FBA compliance knowledge. Your supplier absolutely has to know Amazon's strict prep requirements inside and out. We're talking edge crush test or ECT ratings and exact labeling. Otherwise, you're getting hit with massive rejection fees. Second, structural integrity testing. They need to provide ISTA 3A drop tests. Why? Because your product has to survive the absolute chaos of last-mile delivery. Third, sustainability certifications. If you want to make any eco-friendly claims in Western markets, you need verified paper trails. And fourth, prototyping speed. A competent partner should be whipping up a 3D digital mock-up and sending you a physical white CAD sample within 3 to 5 business days.
Section 3, solutions for bulk and enterprise.
Let's brilliantly illustrate the difference scale makes by comparing 2 absolute titans of the industry, based purely on your strategic needs. First, we have Shenzhen Yuto. These guys are the global leaders in premium, high-tech packaging. They literally supply giants like Apple. So if you're an enterprise-level brand needing strict ESG compliance and molded pulp eco-friendly packaging, Yuto is exactly who you want. But heads up, they rarely take small startup orders. Now on the flip side is Hexing. They are the undisputed kings of industrial mass-scale logistics. If you're a high-volume Amazon FBA seller and your #1 priority is driving down the absolute lowest unit cost on heavy-duty shipping boxes, Hexing has the massive scale to back you up.
Now, you heard me mention ESG compliance with Yudo a second ago. That brings us to FSC, the Forest Stewardship Council, and GRS, the Global Recycled Standard. Listen, for enterprise buyers today, these acronyms aren't just nice-to-haves anymore, they are an absolute requirement. If a supplier claims their packaging is sustainable, you have to request their FSC certificate number and verify it against the official database. It is literally the only way to protect your brand's reputation when entering Western markets.
All right, Section 4, mid-size and premium branding. Enter Pacoy Printing. Honestly, Pacoy has firmly positioned itself as the go-to sweet spot supplier for the modern Shopify, Etsy, or mid-sized Amazon seller. They are absolute experts at balancing pretty branding with practical shipping. They specialize in those gorgeous custom-branded mailer boxes that just pop on social media. But more importantly, they're super flexible. They'll help you with design, provide structural die lines, and they intimately understand Amazon FBA prep. It just makes them an incredibly easy partner for a growing brand. Now, what's really interesting here is how we can solve a massive logistical headache for luxury brands. Let's contrast Huaisheng with Pinchuang. Huaisheng is phenomenal for high-end luxury. Think of those heavy magnetic closure jewelry and cosmetic boxes with gorgeous spot UV and embossing. Beautiful, right? But the problem is, rigid boxes do not fold flat, so you end up paying to ship literal empty air across the ocean. On the other hand, Pinchuang offers a genius hybrid solution.
collapsible, rigid boxes. You still get that ultra-premium feel for fashion and lifestyle brands, but the box is flat pack. This completely slashes your international shipping rates and massively improves your landed cost efficiency, a total game changer.
Section 5. Niche and Precision Specialists. Let's quickly profile 3 highly specialized players just so you know exactly what operational challenges they can solve for you. First is rich color. If your print aesthetic is incredibly complex, say you're a media brand or you're making a high-end luxury board game, these guys are masters of G7, Pantone color accuracy, and high-fidelity art paper. Next up, Lion Yai out of Dongguan. They excel at precision full-kit solutions. So if you're a healthcare or tech startup needing a box, plus perfectly sized labels, stickers, and technical manuals all kitted together with strict quality control, Lion Yai is your team. Finally, BST Printing. They bring incredible boutique agility to the table. If you're a high-end boutique that constantly changes up your paper bags and gift boxes for different seasons, BST handles those custom orders with tons of creative input and rapid speed. Taking a step back, this mapping is the absolute core of our analysis. To truly master packaging procurement, you have to identify your exact buyer profile. Are you an enterprise brand prioritizing ESG? Go to Yuto. A mid-sized seller needing branded mailers? Pakoi is your match. Are you a premium brand just sick and tired of sky-high shipping costs? Look at Pinchuang's foldable rigid boxes. By mapping your specific scale and needs to a supplier's primary strength, you eliminate so much of the friction that ruins cross-border relationships. You aren't just hunting for a factory, you're finding the exact right fit for your business model.
Moving to our final section, Section 6, Smart Procurement and Landed Costs.
Let's see how this all builds into an actual workflow. Step 1. Never, ever ask for a quote based on a simple box size. You have to ask for the die line, that flat 2D layout. Professional suppliers will hand this over for free to make sure your designer's artwork perfectly aligns with their factory machines. Step 2 is sample verification. You want to start with a structural white sample just to make sure your product actually fits inside. Then get a digital sample for the layout, and if you're doing high volume, insist on a press proof so you can see exactly how the ink reacts to your chosen paper stock. Finally, step 3 is calculating your true landed cost, which actually brings us to a really important warning.
Here is the crucial point: $1. Seriously, packaging is incredibly bulky. You might negotiate super hard and get a beautiful box manufactured for, say, 50 cents. But if that box doesn't fold flat, it might cost you an entire $1 per unit just to ship it across the ocean via air freight. The most sophisticated buyers in 2026 are heavily prioritizing flat-pack corrugated designs and foldable rigid boxes just to maximize shipping container space. You've got to always calculate the final landed cost, not just the manufacturing quote. Just to set your expectations, let's talk realistic minimum order quantities, or MOQs, in China right now. If you're working with someone like Pakoi for custom offset printed mailers, expect MOQs to start somewhere around 500 to 1,000 units. For high-end luxury boxes, you might squeeze by starting around 300 units. But if you're heading to hexing for mass industrial standard boxes, you'll need to order 2,000 units or more for custom sizes. Simply put, your sourcing scale dictates your supplier choice.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty provocative question. Are you prioritizing just the box cost, or are you actually calculating the true landed cost and carbon footprint per unit? Because by shifting your mindset from simply buying cardboard to strategically partnering with the right specialized manufacturer, you transform your packaging into a highly profitable marketing asset. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive.